Hi, my name is Jean-Pierre, and I hope all is well with you since the last time you were here. And just like that, the year 2025 is drawing to a close. What a year it has been, right? By the way, happy November. Quick shout out to a special couple, Gilbert and Moret, for always listening to this podcast together. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Grace, Kachimfia, Mzilanji. Last but not the least, you who is listening to me right now. Thank you so much for being here. I think the last time I was here, when was the last time I was here? I think that was August. Man, time sure is flying by so fast. Yeah, so the last time I was here, August, and then September came. So yeah, sometime in September, I had a conversation with a lady who had given birth to a beautiful baby girl. This conversation stands out as one of those monumental conversations I've had this year. Because one, September was World Sickle Cell Awareness Month. I wish I had done more content during that month. I don't even know what happened in September. But anyway, during this conversation, I also found out that this lady has sickle cell as well. So naturally, I had to ask, right? Because I'm curious like that. So I asked, what's worse, labor pain or a sickle cell crisis? Without missing a beat, she said labor was a breeze. She told me how she went through labor without any painkillers or injections, epidural, I guess. Something like that. Some fancy terms she threw at me that went over my head in regards to that. Hey, I'll do my homework next time. Anyway, she did mention that a sickle cell crisis is said to be 10 times worse. 10 times worse than labor pains. That is wild. And I did my research, and sure enough, science backs her up. Studies show that the pain of a sickle cell crisis can be more intense than childbirth, broken bones, or even some post-surgical pain. It's quite relentless. But I guess because sickle cell is an invisible illness, people often dismiss it or its intensity on the human body. We had a long conversation, and we also spoke about some of the outrageous things we've heard in our lives. Things like, but you don't look sick, which is crazy. I don't know how I'm supposed to look. Okay, never mind. And my personal favorite, you look healthy for someone with sickle cell. Thank you, I guess. It's like someone complimenting your haircut at a funeral, right? It's kind, but also really confusing and unnecessary. But here's the thing. I guess I've heard it all. I've seen it all. I've felt it all. And there comes a point in anyone's journey that you just have to choose to move beyond it all. Another standout moment since the last time I was here was I bumped into someone who recognized me from this podcast, which was surreal. During our conversation, I remember he asked me how I would define pain. Now, that's my kind of question. That's like asking Cristiano Ronaldo if he wants a penalty. That's a no-brainer. I mean, a couple of years ago, I was the king of pain in poetry. I don't think anybody was spewing pain with words the way I was doing it back then. I mean, I lived it. I was breathing it. I was in love with it, right? So you think this would be an alley-oop for me, right? The ball's in the air, the crowd's cheering. All I had to do was just dunk. But here's the kicker. I couldn't answer. I stumbled. I fumbled. For the first time in a very long time, I couldn't define or find the words to define my kind of pain. You see, pain used to be my fountain of creativity for a long time, especially transitioning into poetry. And I remember one of my very first poems ever was called Worst Days. Let me see if I remember any part of that poem. Okay, so it went like, on any of my worst days, I like to get lost in my own Eden. Strip off all my blessings. Gloat in the nakedness of all my filthy sins that are so endless. And judge myself while ignoring God when he tells me that I'm still worthy of forgiveness. I mean, come on. Heavy. That was me back then, right? Writing through pain, trying to survive through it, just doing the most with it, right? And it felt right to kind of deal with pain in that vein. I remember my favorite part of that poem was towards the end. It went like, wait, do I still remember? I wrote this poem 10 years ago, actually. Oh yeah, it went like, very scarce are the good days, precious are the worst ones. Because from them I've learned so many lessons. And to the doctor that said I seem to have too many psychological problems, well, doc, I'm not even bothered. My insomnia is not really a problem. My God neither sleeps nor slumbers. Can't you see that I got this straight from my Heavenly Father? Heartbreak, prayer, writing poetry, my mother's smile, and my nephew struggling to pronounce my name are the things that bring me closest to God. So most nights I stay up disturbing him. And I often ask him why I perceive things differently. For example, why I always see pain in people's smiles, or why I hear the truth in certain lies. How is it that I feel so rejected when we hug, and weird enough, I find assurance in a genuine goodbye? Son, can you imagine how I feel? God asked me. Yeah, I really couldn't. I couldn't imagine, so I just kept quiet and continued enjoying my worst day. Man, I was going through it. I was in the trenches when I was writing this poem. It was heavy. It was heavy. But guess what? Fast forward to today, as I was reading this poem and just reciting and thinking about it, I was like, wow, who wrote this? Which version of me wrote this? Because I really can't fully relate to it anymore. And that well of pain that used to feed me, it feels like it's dried up. And instead of drowning in pain, I guess now I've just learned to laugh through it, swim through it, pray through it, and most importantly, separate myself from it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take away anything from that season I went through. I'm actually grateful for it and what it did for me. Neither am I trying to disregard its impact on me, nor am I trying to come off as some sort of guru who has transcended emotions and has become utterly numb to pain. No, I'm not that guy. I do experience pain still. Just a couple of days ago, I had a crisis and I was unable to walk for a few days, However, what I'm trying to say is this. It is possible to experience intense pain throughout life while not allowing the presence of that pain to disgrace you. By disgrace, I mean having the pain strip you off of your humanity, so to say, strip you off of your kindness, of your love, and most importantly, even though in such moment it seems impossible, strip you off of your compassion for others as well. I've realized that healing isn't always the absence of illness or pain. Sometimes healing is about reaching a point of healthy neutrality, where the thing that once crushed you so hard no longer holds power, attention, or weight over you. It's about being good when you are in pain and being good when you're not in pain, right? Yeah, being good with it and being good without it. Now, on this other side of this, a healthy neutrality, so to say, which is great, by the way. On this other side is the struggle with the remnants of an old paradigm. Sometimes the hardest person you can ever try to convince that you are healthy is yourself, especially when there are so many reminders, scars, and debris suggesting that you are not, or that you haven't always been. I saw this amazing picture of this huge majestic elephant, but this majestic elephant had a rope around its trunk tied to a pole on a tiny little fence. Beautiful painting, and the details were perfect. But as I looked at this painting, I realized the rope was so thin and the pole and that fence were just lightweight. I just wondered if I could speak to that elephant in the moment and let it know that that tiny rope and fence were powerless to that elephant. What a moment that would have been like. But you know what's crazy? What's crazy is that our narratives do look like that sometimes. We sometimes get bound by weightless ideals that we can so easily snap out of. But I'm sure we believe we have solid reasons not to snap out of it. We have a stack of free get out of jail cards. And boy, sickle cell has been my free get out of jail card, Whenever I didn't want to go to an event, when I needed to back out of something, and it worked. It really did. But now it feels like I'm the elephant realizing just how lightweight the rope and the pole actually are. And while realization is good, while realization of the truth is powerful, I think what is even more powerful is living in the reality of this truth. And for anyone on a journey of manifestation or transformation into a different reality than what you're currently experiencing, best believe there'll be reoccurring cycles or patterns that will come and test you. Remnants of the old self, like I mentioned earlier. Flashbacks of a younger, slightly less experienced, less knowledgeable self. Flashback of a weaker, hurting, defenseless self. It may feel that if certain patterns keep repeating themselves, then we might be doing something wrong. Not entirely true. I now feel like reoccurring patterns don't always mean you're failing. Sometimes they just show up as exit portals. A final test to prove just how much you've grown, how much you've healed, how much you've transcended the last version of yourself that was in that particular pattern previously. Like doors, the push or pull door. You push through one side to enter, but you've got to pull from the other side to leave. I know it's awkward. I don't know about you, but it's always awkward for me when I come face to face with the push or pull door, regardless of whether the sign is there that says push and then you go inside and you find another sign that says pull. It's always an awkward situation for me. But regardless, I still have to find my way to either push through or pull out of it. This is the 11th month we're now in, and more than 9 months have passed already. So by laws of human nature, that is enough time to birth new life, right? So it's time to pull the curtain on certain behaviors, certain paradigms, ideals, to snap out of the ropes, the tiny ropes tied around us to a pole that is so lightweight, to pull out of everything and anything that currently serves no purpose in our new seasons. And I feel like until this is done, some other doors, some other relationships, opportunities, identities, and a lot more that are beyond these doors will remain inaccessible. Until then, happy pushing, happy pulling. Love always and forever. Hold up. As you were listening to this, if you were thinking of someone who might enjoy this episode, please share it with them and let them know you are thinking about them. Go on and make their day. Again, it's on me.